Comeback has already said in his pre-promotion.
Have you seen those pictures of Clay Aiken in that Spam-A-Lot?
Yeah.
I immediately close my eyes. I have a natural defense system.
All right, we'll be back right after these.
1 sec, just hold on, please.
That's Antonio Pierce. When he was our intern. Yeah, that's the guy who was with Plexico.
Yeah, we better get him back in here and give him some more advice.
I'm worried the Giants are getting carried away with their stardom because they're the champs and they're 11-1 this year. Some guys can't handle that shit. They get carried away.
But the self-destruct.
Yeah, I know. I can't handle it.
Well, you know, it's like almost like that. I don't know what happened with Chappelle, but I mean, like being afraid of success. Like, they might have that same thing going on.
All right, so
shooting yourself in the foot, he missed and hit his thigh.
All right, someone's going to come in and Benji suggested me during the commercial before we actually have the person come in and make their announcement. Oh, well, there goes that bit.
Oh.
We were going to guess what the big announcement was and what person was going to make it.
You know, I saw this person hanging out there, but I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I thought it would be one of the Whack Packers or something.
I said to my producer, Gary, who's into pre-promotion, I said to him, oh, that's a good idea Benji had. We're going to guess
who it is.
And then he just sends the guy in.
You told him you wanted to do it.
Baba Booey. I've got to get a new producer, I think. I think he can't handle the success. I think he's carried away with himself like the Giants.
He's handled it for years.
Dude, I didn't send him in. He just walked in.
Well, don't you hold people back?
Dude, he's not supposed to go in until... No, this is something he did on his own.
Why'd you come in on your own?
My fault. I heard you say it's time to do the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with this.
But Gary, you watch the dude. Just say, don't go into...
He wasn't even in the hallway.
But say, Benji and them are going to all guess who's coming in.
But he's not... Nobody's supposed to go in without asking me. Because I can't control it.
But would you walk out and you go, hey, the guy's just thought of something.
He wasn't even there.
Well, he was in your office.
How could I talk to him when he was not in my office?
Where was he?
I was in Scout's office. It's my fault. This one time, don't yell at Gary.
But you know what I would do? Here's what I would do. I'd say, hey, the guys just came up with my idea. Let me make sure...
Dude, he wasn't...
Let me make sure that it doesn't get sabotaged.
He wasn't standing there, and he was supposed to be waiting to be sent in.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I disagree with you.
You're in hindsight.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm a neurotic. When someone says, hey, there's a good idea, I'm going to make sure the guy doesn't get in until we... That's all right. That's okay, Gary. You're right. You did the pre-promotion. You saved the bid anyway. So, thanks.
Fuck off.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm not going to say that for the last 10 minutes I've been stumbling over my...
Yeah. All right.
What does that mean, Robin? Fights in the hallway every day.
All right, Mike, high-pitched Mike.
What the fuck does that mean? You stumbled over Mike.
You couldn't find him.
You can't stumble over your fucking wallet.
You couldn't find him, but I couldn't get past him.
Well, that's because you're in Scott's fucking studio, you fucking bitch.
Oh, and I saw Mike on camera. I saw high-pitched Mike on camera standing there.
Two fucking Monday morning quarterback asshole.
Pre-promotion. You're not getting it. When you hear a good idea, you make sure it happens.
I wish I had an announcement every day.
All right, anyway, Gary, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mike has an announcement to make. Go ahead, Mike. High-pitch Mike. By the way, high-pitch Mike. All right, go ahead, high-pitch Mike. I won't interfere.
Okay, so,
I mean, I will interfere, but you start.
I'm actually going to ask you to cut that off for a second. Sorry. After we did that lie detector test.
Yeah, my high-pitch Mike took a lie detector test the other day on the air, and it was kind of weird because, as you know, the lie detector said that Mike was gay.
Well, the question that was asked.
Yeah, they said, are you gay?
The only question anybody was interested in.
Are you gay?
Yeah, and Mike, of course, said he was not gay,
Right.
and the lie detector said he was,
lying.
So anyway, go ahead.
So shortly after that, I had a little bit of a meltdown.
Right.
Outside of here.
Oh, really?
And I've been going through a very emotional month or two in the last, ever since October. And there's one song that I think you have up on Gary preview page too that I'm going to ask you just to start.
All right, I'll hit the song right here.
If you don't mind, and just keep it under me because this song has ultimately changed my life.
What is this song?
This is a song called Never Felt This Way by Brian McKnight, who I'm not even a fan of, but
Brian McKnight.
Brian McKnight.
You're not a fan, so how do you know this song?
A friend of mine brought it into my life, and it's changed the way I thought.
How did this friend bring it into your life?
They sang a cover version of it, and when I heard the original. So anyways, back in October, when you got married, I went home to my parents' 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And it was a big weekend because while you two are celebrating your love, my parents are celebrating 40 years together.
Right.
And I thought, this is great. You know, both of these couples are very happy together. And I heard this song, and I'm sitting in my apartment, and I broke down, and I just started crying uncontrollably.
Go ahead.
Because I thought, the love that they're talking about in this song, I'm never going to get to experience. I'm never going to know what it's like to be in love.
I don't like this song. I'll be honest.
That's fine. I didn't bring it in to impress you.
Actually, I like Brian McKnight.
I know, but go ahead.
I'm a fan too. It's not his best one.
Right. I'm glad that the song at least was a
I
catalyst.
don't know how it could change somebody's life except to make them stop listening to
The
music.
song would change my life and make me die.
Only in this fucking room.
I'm sorry, but that's what I was
I think this song is hated in a lot of rooms.
Mike's trying to tell you he's a member of Al Qaeda. Now, go ahead. Go ahead. So what do you want to say?
So, the song made me realize how lonely I was and empty inside because for the last 20 years I've been lying to myself, my friends, my family, and everyone here. And I decided that it's time for me to come out of the closet and admit I'm gay.
Well, I admire you for that. Matter of fact, I spoke to Mike over vacation, and he told me about his plans. He wanted to come out on the air.
You talked to him?
I did. I called him. And,
You called him because of the lie detector? Or
no,
what?
he had spoken to Gary and Artie and said that, Artie and High Pitch Mike have gone through their thing where, they went through a bad time. And
This goes hand in hand with another announcement. I'm fired.
Anyway, by the way, the only way you can get me on the phone is to come out of the closet. That's when I call
How do you wind up on the phone without this mic?
So Gary gave me a call, Gary Delabate, who, does a lot of pre-promotion here at our show. Called me up. All right, okay. He calls me up and he says, hey, the lie detector thing. Meanwhile, it turns out the lie detector was right about everything.
It's accurate.
I'll get to that later, but it's not.
I mean, did you have a meltdown? I mean, you had a meltdown right after?
I had a meltdown, and I came out to the first person I've ever talked to in my life, which is my boss, Brad Driver, who's also a very close friend. And I called my sister immediately, who I had never told. And I told her what the story was. The reason I was so afraid to come out, not because of people here, not because of the show, not because of the way people would judge me, but because when I was in college, my mother told me we had a fight, and she asked if I was gay, and I told her no. And she said, good, because if you were, I would disown you.
Oh.
Well, anyway, so how I got into this was Gary called me up and said Mike wants to come out on the air. And he talked about that his mother...
The song is going to make me cry.
Really? It's going to make me puke. I'm going to... well, I'll leave it on because Mike likes it. This is his big party, so...
Boy, is
but
this
anyway,
what happens to you if you become gay?
Yeah, he became gay and I have to listen to shitty music. Did me a favor.
I thought the gays had good taste.
At least when you're in the closet, I didn't have to listen to this shit.
Really?
Anyway, so in all seriousness, Mike, I like Mike very much, and he spoke to Gary and he spoke to Artie.
Artie, you come out too.
He came out to Artie, and Artie, actually, Mike has told me,
that
was
must
extremely
be.
sensitive.
If I can come out to Artie, I can come out to anybody.
Yeah, I think that was the rehearsal.
I came out to George again. I gotta say, I did that as a joke, and I know how hard that must be. I have a lot of respect for him. That's hard to do.
Where were you when you came out to Artie?
He was about to leave the building, and I asked him for a couple minutes.
In the lobby?
In the lobby of the building.
Oh, my God. So you had nowhere to hide.
Did you at least get him a sandwich while you came out there?
I should have.
Yeah. He felt like, I'm hungry.
But I'll tell you,
I was actually very emotional. It was nice that he did, I'm glad he's at a place where he could do it, I guess. I don't know.
I just didn't want... Him and I were arguing and saying a lot of ugly things
again,
over and over and over, and I didn't want to keep doing it. And I'd already decided I'm going to be coming out, so I just wanted to tell him before the break and get it over with.
You're taking away his best material.
Right. And I may ruin his reputation, but he was the most compassionate, concerned person I've ever...
He probably just wanted a blowjob. don't be fooled by
more than bread driver.
What is Brian McKnight moaning about while we're trying to...
I don't know.
Turn it off.
I so badly want to hear Mike's story, but this song is confusing.
It's horrible.
I actually really felt for him. I mean, that's hard to do, and especially to someone like myself, less than sensitive. But
anyway.
I just hope everything's okay.
So anyway, what happened for me was Gary called me up and said, look, Mike wants to come out on the show. I said, okay. And, me, that's always good radio. So I said, look, but the thing is, Gary told me the story about Mike's mom. All right? And I said to Gary, I think I should speak to Mike because he was not going to come out to his mother. He was going to do it here on the air.
Right.
And because she said that she would disown him and stuff. And his attitude was, according to Gary, that Mike was feeling, well, his mother doesn't listen to the show anyway, and she won't find out about it. So I said to myself, I'm going to write Mike a note and say, can I call you? Because while I would love for him to come out on the air if that's what he's comfortable with, I said I thought that before he did that, he should come out to his mother and his father on the phone. Or because they live far away.
Somehow,
well, they live far away.
Yeah.
So that's what I was concerned about. So I called up Mike and I said, Mike, let me just give you my thought on this. That while I think it's great you want to come out on the air, I said, I don't want you to do anything that's going to cause stress in your life. And one of the things that might is if your mother hears about it. Because even even though she doesn't listen to the show, someone's going to call. And he said, stop right there. He goes, it turns out I came out to my mother. And he had done that already, and which was his biggest fear because his mother said she would disown him. And Mike, tell everyone what happened when you came out to your mother.
Sunday, November 23rd, a date I'll never forget. I made the hardest phone call of my life. I called my mother and we had our normal, how was your week conversation. And then I told her that when I was in school, she said something that has destroyed me for the last decade of my life. And I told her what she had said, that she disowned me. And she didn't remember saying it. But she said, yeah, I would disown you.
She said it again?
She said it again. She reiterated it.
So then what'd you do?
And I just started sobbing and crying. And I was afraid that I was going to lose her forever. That was the end of it. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was surreal.
You hadn't told her yet, right?
I told her the quote that you disown me if you were gay.
Right. But she said, I would disown you, and you haven't even approached me.
Well, she said, is that what you're trying to tell me? And I said, yes.
And?
And there was anger, and I think disappointment. And I said, I didn't choose to be this way. Nobody chooses to be treated like a second-class citizen or wants to be shunned by their family. And I just kept crying and crying and crying. And I was about ready to hang up the phone. I told her, if this is what you want, then consider this our last call. I said, I love you, but I don't want to be like this. I don't want to lose you. But if I'm a disappointment to you, then consider this our last call. And I waited and waited, and I was about to hang up the phone. And she said, I love you. I just want you to be happy. No matter what makes you happy, as long as you're happy. I want you to be happy in your life, no matter what that means.
Right.
And she said, I love you more than life itself.
Oh.
Good woman. All right, so she came around.
She came around very quickly.
And your father was okay with it?
I told my father had a brother who died of AIDS many years ago. So I was never very concerned about his reaction.
It was more your mother.
It's more
I
not.
thought you'd lose your mother forever.
Right, that's what Mike said to me when we were having our conversation, which was surprising. He said that
he hadn't told his parents yet.
Well, he said that his mother might have a problem with it because of what she said, but then he said something that I thought was a good surprise to me, that he thought his father would be compassionate about it. And your brother, you have two brothers?
2 sisters.
And both of them would be